Happy Saturday, everyone. This is Bolthra here to introduce a brand new game for us. This is our first try at Mothership here at Restless Barbarian Gaming. And we are doing a session 0 for a small series that's called Original Sin. I have 4 great players today. We're going to introduce them, let them tell us who they're playing, and then we're going to get into a little bit of background for the game. I'm going to talk about the characters a little bit of background of this game. We were originally supposed to start this a couple months ago. Unfortunately, it's been delayed, and I'm really excited to finally get to kick off Mothership. It's a game I'm really interested in. I'm a big sci-fi nerd, back to Alien and that kind of thing, and this looks like a great system to try out. So we're going to go ahead and get started in just a minute. If it's your first time here, welcome. Please be sure to give us a like, subscribe to the channel so that you can continue to enjoy all the great games we've got going here. I can't talk today. Okay, let's go ahead and introduce people who can probably talk better than me right now. So let's go ahead and introduce Jen first.
Hi, I'm Jed. I'm playing Taylor, who is an android life form. She's a little creepy looking. She doesn't look very humanoid. She's made of mostly plastic and metal, and that's about all you need right now, I guess.
Okay, and let's talk to Mint.
Hi everyone, I'm Minty Poe, and I'll be playing Mo Garrison, the space cowboy marine that doesn't give a shit as long as they get paid and they can feed their dog.
All right, and Q.
Hi guys, I'm Q. I'll be playing Walter, also an android, normal looking humanoid.
Mine is not. Yeah.
Passing android.
All right, and Sandra.
Hi everyone, I'm Sandra. I'll be playing, her full name is Juliana, but she's mostly called Jules. Her surname is Nix. She was a Marine at one point, so she usually is a pilot at this point, but is a Teamster if you are talking about the classes here in Mothership.
Exactly. The technical terms is she's a Teamster. So, and of course, welcome, Crash.
Crash!
Hey, Crash.
Thank you for joining us, my friend. Okay, let's talk a little bit about what this game is going to be. It is going to be set in the year 2132. The Earth has slowly began to explore nearby planets as our own environment starts to crumble. Typical, the rich find a way to get off the planet after polluting it. So we're kind of in that stage where they've started to explore some of the nearby planets. There's been an offshoot of the U.S. Space Force that was developed in 2070, not quite colonial Marines because there's no colonies yet, so we're just going to call them the Space Marines. They were developed in about 2070 to help deal with border disputes and pirate ships, because once the Earthlings got out into space, of course, not everyone was playing nice, and there's been some trouble. So there's been a need for armed forces in space, and that's where some of our Marines come into play. The characters, we're going to actually work together to develop what their ship is named. We're gonna get a little more information about that. They do work for a company called Orion Industries. They are the crew of a salvage ship that has been sent out to rendezvous with an abandoned ship that's been lost for about 2 years. It's just now come up on the radar off near one of the biggest moons of Saturn, named Titan. This ship, named the Armstrong, has just basically reappeared. And Orion wants to be the first ones to get there. And what the idea is that the crew are going to be docking with the Armstrong and probably trying to tow the Armstrong back to their station. There is a space station that's been set up kind of, kind of, kind of. I think I have it off the. I hate to say it off the coast of, but near Mars. It is named Spire Station. It's a supply station and home base for a lot of companies, including Orion. So the crew has been together for a couple years, we'll say. Um, we're going to go over everyone's role on the ship. There is one NPC who will be joining. His name is Dallas Parker, and he is an engineer. He's really more of an overglorified maintenance man. He's kind of a sad sack. Really, working with others is not a job for him. That's why he tends to stay maybe in some of the lower decks, only emerging for meals and to complain about things. So he's kind of in charge of maintenance. The regular crew is four. It is Mo, Dallas, Jules, and Taylor. But kind of at the last minute, there's been a new member added to the crew. Walter was just assigned. And it's not typical that a crew has two androids on board. Typically, at most, you might have one android. Orion doesn't tend to hire a lot of androids. Even though androids seem to last longer than humans and don't need sleep and that kind of thing, they tend to not hire a lot. But now they've actually added a new one to the crew, so we'll kind of go over everyone's background and those kinds of things. But yeah, Walter is is kind of the new kid to the crew, so we'll talk about that. But let's first meet our crew a little more and get an idea kind of first, like how long they've been working for Orion. Maybe what did they do before they started working for them? Do they have any family or friends? Have they just come out into space on their own? Maybe they're looking to get away from something. Just some things to kind of spice up the characters, so we get an idea, kind of what are their motivations for being out here in this godless, forsaken universe. So let's see. I'm going to pick on the person who looks least ready. I'm going to go with Minty. Tell us a little bit about Mo's background.
Mo's background, it's set prime as if it was going to be trauma bait. Family not too in the picture.
Mm-hmm.
Ran in with a crowd of kids that maybe not the best crowd, but not the worst. But in reality, it's a loving group. Most of them came out into space. They bounce around different stations, catch drinks with a couple every once in a while, maybe every couple of years whenever they can, and nobody's in hypersleep. They all gather for a little reunion. Like a little social network of runaways, forgottens, and otherwise swept under the rugs.
Okay.
Yeah, they became a bail assistant. Found out they were good with firearms and in the field, joined up with the Marines, and now they act as a liaison mercenary for Orion.
All right.
The technical role that's been assigned to Mo is security and loss prevention.
Beat a motherfucker that would try.
Because yes, because you never know. There might be something valuable on a ship that if Orion is in charge of hauling the ship back, anything on the ship is now Orion's property. So in case anybody gets sticky fingers, that's where loss prevention comes into play.
Fingers can't be sticky if they're broken.
That's right. So that was kind of my, oh God. Yes, we might have to bring Kevin into space.
Oh my, that would be interesting.
and exactly, loss prevention through superior firepower. Exactly. Okay, so that was kind of my idea for what their role was. I've talked about Dallas. Let's talk about Jules.
Jules, I don't know if this is some information that in this case Mo would know, but probably it's quite clear that she has a military background, or at least a Marines background. She left, to state it nicely, a couple of years ago. I think about 7 years ago or something.
Honorable discharge or dishonorable discharge?
As far as our Marine knows, probably honorable.
Okay. Means you get a pension. Okay.
Yeah. No, maybe. Yeah, she was a Marine pilot, but she lost her job by dishonorable discharge because she didn't want to. She was given orders that she didn't want to follow.
Okay.
She still thinks she's right, but that, yeah, mercenary is something that just, yeah, you need to live, right?
Orion embraces people of all backgrounds, and tries not to linger on troublesome things of their past. Let's look towards the future, and what can we achieve together? Yes, I'm an HR person at heart, so. Okay. Based on her background, I kind of picture her almost as like the captain, definitely the pilot, but I kind of see her probably being in that role. So you want to call her Captain Jules, you can, but she's definitely the.
She hates that.
Okay.
Call her that. She's very bad with authority.
Okay. Then Dallas will definitely probably call her Captain, because he is. I actually will have to come up with a picture of Dallas. I think I have it somewhere. But let's talk about Taylor next.
Okay, so Taylor is an android that looks like all of the other of her type. They were mass produced to help out humans with tasks that humans can't or do not want to do. She could do things like if something breaks outside the ship, she can kind of go on a tether and not have to worry about breathing and fix it, and this sort of thing. She's also a bit of a hacker if needed, because sometimes things break, and so you need to find the right code to get it in, and whatever we're doing. So that's her thing. And when we start playing, I'm probably going to make her voice sound a little bit unnatural, because if you've seen the picture I put of her into the Discord, she is very unnatural looking. So
let me get that for everyone.
Yeah, get that.
How long has she been with Orion?
Probably from the beginning. There's a whole lot of, like I said, there's a lot of us that look exactly the same, sound the same, have the same coding, different skills possibly depending on where we're deployed. But yeah, she's just, mostly plastic. She's got some metal in her, the whole thing. This is her. Yeah.
Here is Taylor. Okay.
Yes. She's a little creepy. Yeah, but she doesn't know she's creepy. So
well, yeah, nobody wants to think they're a creep. They're just, they are who they are. So
yeah, and since there are so many identical beings of her type, her creator puts a holographic sticker on their chest, so she knows which one immediately they're talking to and where they've gone. So Taylor has a little holographic dancer sticker on her chest that was placed there by her creator, and she figures, well, this must be part of me. So
awesome.
Yep.
All right. I see her role probably more as technical. I don't think she has any medical.
I don't think so.
Okay. Let's say technical support, we'll say. Yeah. And the crew seemed pretty well rounded out. And then they were told this new individual named Walter was going to be joining. Why don't we find out a little bit more about Walter?
All right. I remember growing up on Earth, My mother was a medical doctor. My father was a violinist. They died when I was in my late teens. I remember attending college for mechanical engineering and computer science. I remember being recruited by Orion straight out of college. And I remember working for Orion for 3 years now.
And let's take a look at Walter. Thank you for sending that over.
Mhm. Ah,
Big Iron Man thing in his chest.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sadly, I don't know the credit for that. That's just something I found on Google.
Oh, that's
Ah,
fine.
That's fine.
That's fine. Now, based on everything else, what would kind of Walter's role? What role was he told he'd be playing on the ship?
So I'm assigned here for troubleshooting,
Okay.
both in mechanical and computer facilities. Yeah, let's see what else. Yeah, that's what I remember being told.
Okay. Okay. All right. So we're gonna say special consultant. Let's say. And when you were leaving Spire, and when Walter came aboard, Dallas wasn't too happy. He already kind of doesn't like androids a whole lot. Muttering something under his breath, "They're trying to take my job." And then when he saw Walter, he said, "Ah, Christ, now there's 2 of them trying to take my job." And he probably spit some tobacco on the floor and stomped back off to his lair at the bottom of the ship.
Okay. I assure you, Mr. Parker, I am only here on a temporary basis.
Yeah, that's what they said about the chick. And he goes stomping off. One thing I'd like to do, and this universe is really kind of nice and wide open. It's something I really enjoy about it. And if you've seen the Dungeon World games we have,
Yes.
we basically just built our own world, and that's what I like about Mothership. There really is no lore. So one thing I'd like to do is maybe have the characters maybe toss around some ideas. Names for the ship. It is not the Nostromo. It is not a massive ship. It is probably somewhere between a like a regular star, somewhere between a shuttle and a like Millennium Falcon size. Just to give you an idea, probably 2-3 levels, mostly for storage. It has they haven't quite gotten tractor beams going in this time yet, but it does have basically like a crane almost that kind of reaches out, and they can tow vehicles. People joke you guys are, just a, over glorified tow truck. And this is probably not the highest prestige division of Orion, but it brings in a hell of a lot of credits. So the crew is kind of, well, let them laugh at us. We know who brings in the money. We know who does the work around here. So, any ideas on possibly a name for a ship?
I'm always fond of the Flaming Kismet, but maybe not for a tow
Flaming
truck.
Kismet.
Oh, boy.
And you don't have to come up with one today.
Mhm.
If you oh, here we go, the Rusty Bucket. Okay.
I mean, that could work.
Yeah.
That could work.
No, Jules would not allow that.
Yeah, we're more proud.
Roadside
Roadside
assistance.
assistance.
Pride.
Oh, no.
Have some respect for this Vessel, come on.
That's fine.
That's right.
Yeah,
Who
if-
owns the vessel? Do we lease from Orion, or does our
you
captain own it?
you lease it, but Captain Nix does have a majority ownership in it. So it is something that if at some point she wants to just flat out buy it from Orion, she probably could. They would probably strip out anything valuable before selling it to her. Anything that would be considered proprietary
Right.
technology. So she would be getting like basically a really shitty used car at that point. But at the moment, yeah, I mean it's her ship. She is a Orion employee, but can make decisions, as needed. And each of you do have a say in how things are run, but ultimately she's the captain,
Hmm.
and it's going to go through her. So.
And as I said, she doesn't really like authority, so she will probably have more like a discussion about things than just saying this is what we're gonna do, or
Aye, Captain.
Oh yeah, Mo is gonna be. It is. Aye, Capitan, like every 30 seconds, just to fuck with her.
Yeah.
What do y'all like to do when you name ships in games? Oh, sorry, did I talk over you?
No, go for it. Yep.
What do y'all like to do when you name ships and stuff in games? Do you like to do like callbacks to fictional ships? Do you want to come up with something original? What do y'all feel like?
I just throw names until they stick. I was thinking maybe the siren, siren sound of cash
Oh.
credits.
That could work. That could work.
Yeah. Works for me.
Mhm.
The Chevette. Oh, come on, can't we at least get a Chevelle?
Oh no, you're not to that level yet. The trouble. Okay, so the siren. That's not a bad name. I'll write
Yeah,
that
that's
down.
good.
Okay. And like I said, if you guys can have some time to think about it, if you don't come up with something today, just by next episode, I can update my notes. So okay, siren. Okay. What was the one I was coming up with the other day? It was like the Centurial Eagle or something like that.
Oh no.
I think we'd probably be more like the Yearly Sparrow.
The Yearly Sparrow. Sparrow, that works.
I do like something like that.
Okay,
That's
Sparrow.
good too,
Okay,
yeah.
Ooh, something more bird-like. Yeah,
there you go.
to give it some grace.
There you go.
Just a tad more.
The albatross.
If we owned it, if like we were all four going in on this as an ownership, yeah, that would be great.
I will write the ostrich. Thank you.
No.
The secretary bird.
Why? Just
I will.
please
I will write down albatross, and
The pigeon.
the pigeon. Okay.
Pigeon.
Oh, I had a really bad session about pigeons last week.
Yeah.
Oh.
But the okay, so we'll come up with that name at some point. The game itself is for anyone who has not played it. If you've ever played Call of Cthulhu, it is very similar in that when you make skill rolls, what the hell do they call them? You make stat checks and saves. You are rolling a D100, and you are attempting to roll under your skill. Unlike Call of Cthulhu, there are no luck points, and there is no pushes. So if you fail, you fail. The game is very unforgiving. It tends to have a high fatality rate. I do not plan on going out of my way to kill people, but it
You don't have
unfortunately you don't have to. No, that is
Right,
the game.
yeah.
Unfortunately, there are saves for sanity and fear. and there are also panic checks. So occasionally there will be something that may cause you to panic. There's each class, I guess, has what they call a different trauma response. So say with a Teamster, it's once per session you may take advantage on a panic check. I believe with Marines, it is, let me get it out. It is
Whenever the Marine panics, every nearby
exactly.
PC has
Everyone
to
must make a save. Yeah. Yeah. So
No.
so if the Marine turns and runs, you're all screwed.
If the one with the gun is panicking,
Yes.
bad.
Yeah. Let me see what Android was. And it is odd that in this game, they'll say, "Oh, well, androids can panic," and they can. I think in other games they can't, but I do like that about Mothership. So the dice rolls aren't too difficult. You will have occasionally that you can have advantage or disadvantage on a roll. So that will help or hurt sometimes. And there's also critical rolls. Whenever you get doubles on something, it's if the result is a success, it's a critical success. But if it's a failure, it's a critical failure. So let's say you rolled a 22 and your target was like 40. Okay, now it's a critical failure and you have to make a panic check. So like I said, it can be pretty unforgiving. And everyone has something special about them. That's something I thought we'd go over is because as part of your character creation, you had, I think, a trinket and a, where is it? Sorry, I should have had this ready. Yeah, why don't we kind of go over some of that? I thought some of that was kind of fun. What I'll do is I'll go over Dallas, some of the items that he has, and let's see, I think is it in notes? Yeah, he has a patch that is the dead man's hand. It's aces full of eights. Kind of goes with his kind of negative personality. Let's see, and I know. Do you have yours, Jen, for Taylor?
Trying to remember where that's at on the character sheet. It should
Yeah,
be.
I know we added in there. I'm trying to see where we.
Probably in items.
That's where I thought it was.
Okay, let's try items. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So under items, she has standard crew attire, which I cannot imagine is going to work very well for what she looks like, and a bioscanner just in case. Like, what's on the other side of that door? Let's see.
Okay.
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 I think she had a scalpel at some point, but she doesn't know why.
Yeah.
So.
and what was her patch again?
Patch.
Yeah, she should have a patch.
Oh yeah, the patch is since all of my kind look the same, sound the same, act the same, without that's not creepy at all. So her creator put a holographic sticker, a different one to differentiate all of them. So hers is a holographic dancer sticker, like right here. So that way, if they're trying to say, okay, which one is supposed to go on this mission, they can find it quickly.
All righty. How about who wants to go next? Wants to tell us what their patch and their items are? Okay.
My patch is girl's best friend. I got the trinket of a stylized cigarette case.
Okay.
Which I remember belonging to my father.
I'm just looking through the list of the D100 patches.
They got some good ones.
Oh, they got some great ones. I'm looking at the one that's like Dilligaff. Do I look like I give a fuck? I had never seen that one before, but I love it, man.
That's something for Dallas.
Yeah. Okay, who wants to go next?
You go.
Sorry. Well, Mo's patch is just bold font, black patch, white font, and it just says, "I can't fix stupid." Probably have a little bowl or a little explosion at the very bottom, but yeah, just very simple, very plain, because they can't fix something stupid. If the situation is stupid, it's done. It's done. It's wraps. It's time to just pull out.
You are duct tape.
I love this one. Be sure, double tap. Okay.
For their trinket, they actually have a manual called Rich Captain, Poor Captain. They don't know why one of their friends gave it to them. It probably was something they won at a bar in the last station they were at for this deployment. They just said, "Hey, if you can make it to 5 shots, I'll give you this." And then they woke up with no memory in a book.
Awesome. Okay, how about Jules?
Jules has a patch that says Icarus.
Okay.
You can do with that what you want.
Fly too close to the sun, and we're in trouble.
Yeah. And as a trinket, she has a, I think it's, let me see, a moonstone ring. And I like to think that these two items come from the same person. They were gifted to her by the same person.
Okay.
We should come up with who that would be. But yeah, she doesn't really have very interesting items with her. Oh yeah, a personal locator. That's kind of good to have, probably.
All right.
Let's see.
Oh, I found what the actual patch is. It's not
okay.
the holographic serpentine dancer as we wrote before. It is a biohazard symbol.
Oh.
A little bit different.
Yep.
So
I think I like the tiny dancer better.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put her also as technical support and biohazardous.
Waste retrieval.
There we go. Waste handler. There we go. So basically, if the toilet's back up,
I can't say if that's actually the title of my real job. So I'm just gonna.
I'm sorry, didn't mean to.
No, you're accurate, but I was just like, damn, that sudden hit of reality.
and we were trying to get you away from work for a little bit.
Yeah.
So, okay. So I just want to see what questions you guys might have that I can kind of help you with as we plan for the first game.
Is there anything more you need from us to plan? I know you're already thinking behind the scenes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going to be I mean, it's only 2 sessions. I think at most each one will be 2 hours. So it's planned to be kind of a small scenario that might expand to something bigger later. So I don't plan on a lot of combat, but we'll see what happens. That's why I didn't, that's why I want to make sure you at least had one Marine with you, that you weren't all androids or anything.
Right.
But yeah, I think it'll be fun. I'm going to try not to make it overly complicated or dangerous, but again, you guys might overthink something and I'll get a great idea and just, we'll go from there. So
I'll try not to overthink things. Just act.
Well, again, Walter is the wild card. Nobody knows him. There must be a reason why he was added at the last minute. I'm sure he can be trusted. I'm sure
Ryan knows something we don't know.
Let's see if he remembers in a while.
Yeah.
I'm
go where
sure
I'm told to go.
I'm sure there's no nefarious reason behind that. So, okay.
It's totally trustworthy, Ryan.
Yeah. I remember my instructions being perfectly benign.
Cleanse and sanitize. Okay. Anyone have anything else? I don't want Menti to go through all his gas running the air conditioning. So.
Oh.
I was just gonna make sure nobody canonically made their character allergic to dogs, right?
Wait, what now?
Because part of Mo's kit, and I shit you not, when I went through it, is they get a dog, a leash, and a tennis ball. And I've decided that the dog is going to be a Shiba Inu named Queenie.
Okay.
Oh, you get a ship's dog. That's awesome.
Nick's probably gonna bark at me, isn't it?
Probably. Dallas is probably going to hate them. Mo's probably going to threaten to put Dallas through the airlock if anything happens to them. It's going to be a good time.
Dallas really tries not to interact with the crew if he can help it. Yeah, he does like tend to take his meals back to his little maintenance area. If there's crew meetings, he will look to see if he can just use the monitor from below. But if he does come up, he may not have showered recently. So
Well, I have no sense of smell, so I don't know.
yeah, I mean, it's only really going to bother two people. I mean, so
Right.
But yeah, I mean, he is just curmudgeon. I guess is the best
Right.
best thing for him. But he serves a purpose. He kind of does. He's kind of lanky and skinny and can kind of crawl into tight spots with his wrench and can fix things and stuff like that. I'm not saying he's expendable, but you guys do what you feel is best. So
We only see him in person when he wants to haggle for a bonus.
probably, yeah. He's he really doesn't want to interact with anyone. He's just kind of mumbling something about how many days left he has on his contract. And
How many days to retirement?
that kind of
2 more days.
thing. 2 more days, you cut off my fucking legs. No, so, maybe that's foreshadowing. I don't know. Anyway, okay. If we don't have anything else, we can go ahead and wrap up. I want to thank everybody for joining. Really looking forward to this, and let's settle on a ship name before next week.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there.
All right.
Okay. Thanks everybody. Thank you again, Crash, for joining, and we will see everyone next Saturday for part 1 of Original Sin.
All right.
Thanks everybody.
Bye.
Do you have a
Bye.
red collection?
We have to tell you, but you didn't say when.
That's on the official Orion application.
Yep.
You can
All right,
order a new
everybody.
one.
Okay. Thanks everyone.
Bye.